Okay, so I'm sort of going to talk through my process. So I have got some matte medium, which is usually the thing that I tend to use most for sticking collage pieces down. Although, if it's very, she says, heavy piece of paper, which some of these were, or with some of the fabric and the cardboard, then I use this, which is the matte gel, matte gel medium. So this is much thicker. If you can see that, you should be able to see that in there. It's quite thick and gloopy, but mostly I'll use this. Let's move that out the way. It's not in the way of the camera. All right, so my process is usually to start leafing through bits and pieces and see what catches my attention. I like that piece, that's fun. I like that piece too. That's quite interesting. But at some point, as I'm doing this, looking for bits, I will decide on a colour theme. I'll make a sort of I'll make a decision that says, oh no, I'm gonna go in this direction, or I'm gonna go in that direction. So I'll decide where I want to go. Although I did wonder today, actually, if I might say to you guys, give me a colour to work with. But if you give me one I hate, then it'll turn into a disaster. So that's probably not a good idea, in truth. I like that touch. I like that piece. Okay, so that's what happened then was I caught that piece saw that piece out the corner of my eye, and my instinct said, yes, that. Okay, so that's the starting point. So now I'm going to start rifling through my bits of collage to find other pieces that I think will coordinate or work well with that. So what I've got on here, I've got some options in terms of where I go. I've got the lilac, so I can go in that direction. I've got this really dark sort of blue. I can go in that direction. There's a bit of orange there. That could be interesting. And there's this sort of turquoisey blue as well. So I've got 2 or 3 different ways I can take this. That might work. Okay, so what I then do is start to pull out other pieces of collage that I feel will kind of work alongside the original bit. This can often take a few minutes, so it's not a spectator sport, I'm sorry. But this is the process that I go through, so I thought it might be quite useful for you to actually see it in action. Yeah, maybe. What else we've got? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I quite like the way those 2 pieces are working together. And now I'm thinking what might be interesting to get would be some kind of dark piece that's on tissue text. So that's it's like this, that you can see through, but not that, because I don't like the marks on that. They're too definite. too regular as a pattern to sort of go into that space there. That might fill that quite interestingly. Did think about that, but don't like it. So too pale. But that's doesn't work alongside that blue for me. It's not greeny enough. Changing my mind. Might that work? Oh, actually, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. There we go. Oh, does that better? No, too much repetition. That works. Right. Well, let's turn that around so you can see it as it will look when I've stuck it. I won't stick it down actually because that will take me a few minutes to do. I'll just place them where I would put them. I think that's probably about right. There we go. You can see that. That might help, might it? Yeah, so that would be my little collage. What I'd probably find with that is what's likely to happen is I might riff off that orange and put some line work on that actually. But I quite like that because what I like about it is the use of the white space there, forming part of the composition, but also that blue works quite well with that. So there you go. So that's a process.